Good afternoon, Ms. Bridgewater.
Good afternoon.
Hope you're doing well today. Let's see. Whenever courtroom two is ready, we'll be ready. When is the SAP reset date, Ms. Bridgewater?
February the 19th.
Okay, thank you. Good afternoon, courtroom two. We are ready whenever you all are ready.
Good afternoon, Judge. How you doing? I apologize.
No, you're fine, Norris. I hope I'm doing well. I hope you are too. Just let me know who you want to take first.
I don't have a printer to print out the calendar, but we're going to go with position. I don't know what position she is, but this is Miss Brenda Curtis.
Okay.
Brenda Curtis.
Ms. Curtis is position number 4. Good afternoon, Ms. Curtis. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Ms. Curtis, you've been charged in case 24CR000614 with battery family violence. Who do we have on from pretrial today?
Good afternoon, Your Honors, Ms. Hardy.
Hi, Ms. Hardy. Good afternoon. Do we have Ms. Curtis's history?
Ms. Curtis does not have any history at this time.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Walker, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. One second, I'm checking my notes. I believe this is going to be a cross-defendant case with Darius Parks. I believe Mr. Parks is position 15. Just want to make the court aware of that.
Okay.
I'm not sure if he's in the same room or how we want to handle that, but in this case, law enforcement was dispatched to 2086 Bent Creek Parkway in Atlanta. They made contact with both parties. Seems that they were intoxicated. The relationship, Ms. Curtis is Mr. Park's stepmother. They had some type of disagreement that turned physical. Mr. Parks did have scratches on his neck, his face, and a bite mark on his arm and bruises. Ms. Curtis, I don't think that she had any visible injuries, but it was unable to be determined who the primary aggressor was. The state is asking for a signature bond through pretrial services, no contact with the cross-defendant, Mr. Darius Parks, a 2-day anger awareness, no weapon, drugs, or alcohol while out on bond. I will defer to the court as to who the stay away should be imposed against, since I believe they both live at that location. And Mr. Parks is position 15.
Okay. And let's see, who's representing Ms. Curtis?
Keith Cook, Your Honor.
Oh, yes. Good afternoon, Mr. Cook. And Ms. Watson Cafe, good afternoon. Are you representing Mr. Parks?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Before I get to Ms. Curtis, let's see, pretrial is position 15. Mr. Darius Parks have a history?
That defendant has 2 arrest cycles in Georgia. Their last arrest was March the 25th, 2000 out of DeKalb for armed robbery. Nothing further to report.
Okay, thank you. Yes, Mr. Cook.
Yes, Your Honor. We have no problem with this, obviously with the signature only bond. We would ask for 1 day anger awareness. We do have an issue here of who stays away from whom and how. It's my understanding that the apartment that they share is in Miss Curtis's name. She's on the lease. I don't know if Darius contributes anything at all, but if there is a stay away, we would, if one party has to stay away from that location, then we would certainly ask that it be Mr. Parks. And I don't think Ms. Curtis has any problem with the stay away from or no further contact with Mr. Parks.
Ms. Watson Cafe, does your client have somewhere to go?
No.
Yeah.
I've spoken to him. That's his primary residence. He doesn't have any additional income outside of disability. He would be requesting no further violent contact and would ask that he be allowed to stay at the residence. But
I'm not to cut you off, but I can't speak for Mr. Cook's client, but if the stepmother is okay with no further violent contact, the state would be willing to consent to no further violent contact for both parties. But
Further violent contact. Your Honor, my client is okay with that.
the state
Okay.
is okay with that as well.
Okay, so Ms. Curtis, it'll be a $2,000 signature bond through pretrial, 1 day anger awareness, no further violent contact with Mr. Darius Parks, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Okay. Good luck to you, ma'am.
I wouldn't reject your signature bond.
Okay, good luck, Ms. Curtis. May I see Mr. Parks next?
Yeah, he's coming right now.
Okay, thank you. Yes, good afternoon, Mr. Parks. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes.
Thank you. Mr. Parks, you've been charged in case 24 CR 000624 with simple assault family violence. Mr. Walker, anything you want to add to the to the facts?
No, the recommendation will be the same, Your Honor.
Okay. Anything further, Ms. Watson Cafe?
we would ask for the same bond conditions. Actually, Your Honor, do you know if that anger awareness, is that something that they have to come out of pocket? Because as I said, his only income is the Social Security, not the disability. So.
It's my understanding that it's offered free through pretrial services.
Okay. Okay, well then we would be fine, Your Honor, with the conditions.
Okay, as such, it'll be a $2,000 signature bond through free trial, 1 day anger awareness, no further violent contact with Ms. Brenda Curtis, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Mr. Parks.
Okay. Okay.
Next one is going to be Starkia Johnson. I don't have the position number.
Starcia Johnson is position number 9. Good afternoon, Ms. Johnson. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Ms. Johnson, you've been charged in case 24 CR 000619 with theft by receiving stolen property, driving while your license was suspended or revoked, and acquiring a license plate for purpose of concealing identification of the motor vehicle. Is there a history?
This defendant has a total of 32 arrest cycles with arrests out of Georgia and Illinois. felony conviction in 2013 for shoplifting. The last arrest was September the 8th, 2020, out of Smyrna for driving while license suspended or revoked. Nothing further to report.
Good afternoon, Mr. Pierre Thomas.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Brief facts of the case is that officers received the word that a vehicle was stolen with a Georgia tag, and it was stolen out of South Fulton, looks like on February 2nd, 2024. That was registered to a red 2014 Chevy Cruze, but was displaying a 2011 Dodge Challenger. Once the car was identified, a traffic stop was conducted, and the defendant was apprehended. The driver's license had been suspended since looks like October 28th, 2022. And there were several failure to appears, and that she was wanted out of Gordon City for another traffic offense. Your Honor, the recommendation from the state is a signature bond through the pretrial services, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons, no driving while out on bond. And one moment. And a no contact with the victim. Victim is Luluvia, last name Medrano.
Okay, good afternoon, Mr. Ty.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. My client is 38 years old. She is a single mother to a 14-year-old son. She's lived in Georgia for over 4 years. She does deny the allegations as stated in the warrant. She does say that she's moved around a bit in the last 4 years while she's been in Georgia, and the FTAs are because she just didn't know about those cases. And Your Honor, I have no objection to the signature bond through pretrial services, but I would object to the no driving. I think that's left up to the Department of Driver Services. If her license is in fact suspended, she knows that she shouldn't be driving. Otherwise, she'll be in violation of, she could get arrested again. And no contact is fine.
And two things, Your Honor. The first is that if we could sound for the victim, and the second is I believe there's a warrant that's outstanding, and I do believe that our office is in the process of accusing that. I don't think it made the calendar today. It looks like the warrant is for expired or no registration or title. And so we're just looking into that and trying to ensure that it was in the original packet. But if it was, we are in the process of accusing it.
Yes, Your Honor, I did see that expired or no title, and it was a part of the packet. I mean, I would ask that we
could consent to an SOB jail on that particular charge. That's not an issue, and we can get it accused.
thank you.
As far as the bond order, that can be included with SOB jail.
Okay, as such, for the cases on the calendars, it will be $1,000 signature bond through pretrial on each, which makes for a $3,000 signature bond through pretrial. No contact with Mr. Medrano, no driving without a valid license, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. And the other charge will be an SOB, $1,000 signature bond through the jail.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay. Ms. Elwanger, good afternoon. Who are you here for this afternoon?
Hello, Your Honor. I have Leah McIntyre.
Okay, and
Your Honor, I had her up next anyway.
oh, okay, Norris, you're on top. You're on top of it.
I'm on top of it, sir.
Good afternoon, Ms. McIntyre. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Ms. McIntyre, you've been charged in case 24 CR 000622 with battery family violence. Is there a history, Ms. Hardy?
No history to report for this defendant.
Mr. Pierre Thomas?
One moment, Your Honor. I'm pulling it up on the sheet. Your Honor, brief facts of the case is that on February 4, 2024, the officers responded to 1995 Wilshire Glen in reference to a domestic dispute. On arrival, they met with the victim, Daniel Mcalonan, who stated that his girlfriend, the accused, Miss McIntyre, was extremely intoxicated and began to attack him, and that he needed to leave the house. He states that they've been in a relationship for approximately 9 months. He stated that he was in the bed sleeping when suddenly she woke up and got crazy and began hitting him, and that she then bit down on his left arm with her teeth very hard, leaving bite marks and bruising. The officer did observe an area which was also red and appeared to be have a blood vessel popped. The recommendation from the state, Your Honor, is a $2,500 surety bond, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons, no contact with the victim, stay away from the incident location, which is listed as 1995 Wilshire Glen, Alpharetta, Georgia, the completion of a family violence intervention program. And if we could sound for the victim in accordance with Marcy's law, that'd be greatly appreciated.
The victim is
Mr.
Your Honor.
Yes, I see, Mr. McAllenon. If you would like to address the court, this is your opportunity to do so. You do not have to, but if you would like to address the court, I'll need for you to raise your right hand for me. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Okay, you can place your hand down. What would you like to tell the court?
I would like to tell the court, and Your Honor, that this was a mistake. It was a bad night. She's not a bad person. She's not a violent person. Like the stay away, the no contact, nothing like this is not necessary, in my opinion. As pretrial said a moment ago, she has no history. She's, she doesn't have. I don't know what to say. I'm sorry. I wish for her to come home.
Okay, has this ever happened before?
No, sir.
Are you afraid of her?
I am not.
Okay, anything else you'd like to tell me?
I just hope she can come home as soon as possible. That's it.
Okay, thank you for being here this afternoon, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, Ms. Elliott.
Thank you, Judge. Ms. McIntyre has been a resident of Georgia for going on 5 years. She is employed as a loan officer with a bank. As stated, she has no criminal history, and based on the defendant's wishes, we would ask for a UJR, Your Honor, and we would ask that the bond be amended to or that it be set for no violent contact. They do live together in that residence. So we would ask that they be allowed to do that and that no violent contact be the condition, Your Honor.
Okay, it'll be a $3,000 signature bond through pretrial, 1-day anger awareness, no further violent contact with Mr. McAllenon, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Ms. McIntyre.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome.
Next, Your Honor, is gonna be Miss Nicole.
Good afternoon, Ms. Nicole. I'm Judge Eric Mora. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes.
Thank you. You've been charged in case 24 CR 000623 with battery family violence. Is there a history, Ms. Hardy?
This defendant has 4 arrest cycles in Georgia. The last arrest was September 26, 2023 out of Henry County for an FTA. And nothing further to report.
I don't know if I could do that.
And Your Honor, if I'd just like to point out that I think she is a cross defendant with Cornelius Lee. So if we could handle them at the same time, that'd be greatly appreciated.
Do you know what position that is on the calendar?
Let me double check.
Cornelius Lee, is that what you said?
Yes.
Oh, okay. He's position number 10.
Okay. Is he available?
Yeah, he's available.
Okay, so we'll get to him next.
Okay.
Next to your
The
time.
brief facts of the case is that on February 3rd, 2024, the officer was responding to a call in regards to a male biting a woman at the location of 3540 North Camp Creek Parkway. Upon arrival, the officer observed the male as having scratches to his neck, as well as a laceration on his finger. They also made contact with a female, Miss the defendant in this case, Ms. Nicole, who observed there was a laceration to her bottom lip. Ms. Nicole advised that she fell in the shower and that that's how she injured her lip. She did not want to, I guess, get the victim involved. And I do believe that the officer spoke with Mr. Lee, who advised that him and Ms. Nicole got into an argument because she wanted to go through his phone. An argument escalated and they started tussling with one another. Both parties lived together, making it a domestic dispute, and both parties were arrested, Your Honor. The recommendation from the state as it relates to Ms. Nicole is a $1,500 surety bond, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons, a stay away from the incident location, the completion of a family violence intervention program, and no contact with the with the victim.
Okay. Let's see, Ms. Hardy, disposition number 10, Mr. Lee have a history.
That defendant has 12 adult arrest cycles in Georgia, felony conviction in 2014 for possession of cocaine, 2019 purchase, possession, manufacture, distribution, sale of marijuana. There is a 2015 misdemeanor conviction for simple battery. Their last arrest was August the 12th, 2022 out of DeKalb for a probation violation. Nothing further to report.
Thank you. Who's representing Ms. Nicole?
I am, Your Honor.
Okay, you can proceed, Ms. Watson Cafe.
Yes, Your Honor. She is a lifelong resident of Georgia. I did not hear any prior. I didn't hear an extensive history. Only heard about an FTA recently. We would ask that it be a signature bond as opposed to a surety bond. She currently is gainfully employed at Emory, where she's been for several months. It's my understanding that she wants no violent contact. They are both on the lease. She vehemently denies the allegations that are currently pending against her. Even though she is gainfully employed, she makes $15 an hour. We would ask again that she be, just based on a lack of history, based on the limited financial resources that she has, we would ask that it be a signature bond. We believe that that's more than sufficient. Any concerns that Your Honor or the state may have can be addressed through pretrial. So for all of those reasons, Your Honor, we would again ask that it be a signature bond and that she be allowed to stay at the residence and no violent contact with the cross defendant in this case.
Okay. Who's representing Mr. Lee?
I am, Your Honor.
And what does Mr. Lee want as far as contact goes?
No violent contact.
Okay, I'll be with him in just a moment. So Ms. Nicole, for you, it'll be a $3,000 signature bond through pretrial, 1-day anger awareness, no further violent contact with Mr. Lee, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, ma'am.
Okay.
And if we could have Mr. Lee. Good afternoon, Mr. Lee. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state court expedited accusation calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes.
Thank you. Mr. Lee, you've been charged in case 24 CR 000620 with battery family violence. Mr. Pierre Thomas, anything you want to add to the facts?
Nothing to add to the facts, Ron. I'm unsure of whether or not you placed the stay away on the previous defendant.
I didn't place a stay away on either of them.
Okay. The recommendation from the state, just because this defendant is situated differently in terms of the history, we're looking at the 2020 arrest for ag assault and simple battery and other violent arrests, is $2,500 surety bond, a stay away from the incident location, no further contact with the victim, the completion of a family violence intervention program, and no alcohol, drugs, or weapons.
Okay. Mr. Ty?
Yes, Your Honor. My client is 28 years old. He is the father of 4 minor children. He has been gainfully employed at the same company for the last 6 years. He's lived in Georgia all his life. He does deny the allegations in the warrant, although the warrant itself looks like the officer was searching for something which the complaining witness and my client told him, nothing happened. Neither of them called the police. I don't think that there should have been any arrests in this case, and reading the warrant reflects that. Again, they didn't call the police. I would ask for a signature bond through pretrial services at whatever level your honor deems appropriate. Nothing more than a 2-day anger awareness and no violent contact. Nothing further.
Okay, it'll be a $5,000 signature bond through pretrial level 2, 1-day anger awareness, no further violent contact with Ms. Nicole, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Mr. Lee.
Thank you.
Next one is Mika Paris.
Okay. And she's position number 16. Good afternoon, Ms. Paris. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. You've been charged in case 24 CR 000625 with simple battery. Is there a history, Ms. Hardy?
This defendant does not have any history at this time.
Mr. Pierre Thomas?
Yeah, the brief facts of the case is that on February 3rd, 2024, the officer was dispatched to 1009 Washington Street Southwest in regards to a dispute between relatives. One moment. There, the victim, Miss Makaya, Makayah Malcolm, advised the officers that the defendant and another of her sisters, they all stay together. She advised that she was struck multiple times with a closed fist, and that the defendant attempted to get her to engage in a fight. The recommendation from the state, Your Honor, is a signature bond through the pretrial services, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons, a stay away from the incident location, no further contact with the victim, and the completion of a family violence intervention program.
If Ms. Makayah Malcolm is on the line and wishes to address the court, now is your opportunity to do so. Good afternoon, Ms. Kim.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. My client, Ms. Paris, is 17 years young. I believe I saw her mother on the screen. Oh, that says a Zoom user. That is her mother. She's willing to co-sign for her signature on bond. We don't think it is necessary to have a stay away. They are sisters and 5 years apart. Her sister has another place to go to, but my 17 years old client, she does not have any other place to go to. So if she cannot go back to incident location 1009 Washington Street, she's going to be homeless outside. And she is 12th grade at Maynard Jackson High School. She's expecting to graduate May 2024. She's getting A's and B's, and she loves to work on the hairs, and she dreams to be a hairstylist. We would like to request for a signature on bond through pretrial without stay away. No further violent contact would be very good. Thank you, Your Honor.
And is this the mother who's the Zoom user here?
Yes, Your Honor. Her name is Lakeisha Jones, Lakeshia Jones, Jones.
Ms. Jones, can you unmute yourself for a moment for me?
Yes.
Are you willing to have your daughter, Ms. Paris, back in your home?
Yes.
And are you willing to sign her out?
Yes.
Where does Makayah live?
Makayah is going to my mom's house.
Okay. So she won't be staying at the Washington Street address?
No.
All right. Have they gotten into it before?
No, this is the first time.
It's the first time? Okay. All right, thank you, ma'am. I appreciate you being here this afternoon. It will be a $2,000 signature bond through pretrial level 1 day anger awareness, no further violent contact with Micaiah Malcolm, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Ms. Paris.
Thank you, thank you.
Can someone put the spelling of the mom's name in the chat so that I can put it on the order, please?
Yes, I'll do that.
Thank you.
Next, Your Honor, is going to be Shakita Purdue.
Ms. Purdue is position 17. Good afternoon, Ms. Purdue. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state court expedited accusation calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes.
Thank you. You've been charged in case 24 CR 000626 with disorderly conduct. Is there a history, Ms. Hardy?
This defendant has 15 arrest cycles in Georgia. There was a misdemeanor conviction for disorderly conduct in 2011, a felony conviction for aggravated assault in 2011. Their last arrest was January 31st of this year out of East Point for disorderly conduct. Nothing further to report.
This actually is a co-defendant with, I believe, Tracy Lowe. But brief facts of the case is, I believe the officers were called to the location several times, that location being 1910 Center Avenue, East Point, in regards to Ms. Purdue, or the defendant Purdue, being loud and boisterous and being under the influence. At one point, I guess the indicia for this charge is that she threatened to beat Mr. Lowe up in the presence of the officer. And so the recommendation from the state in this case is a signature bond to the pretrial services, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons, no contact with the cross defendant, stay away from that incident location, which is that 1910 Center Avenue, East Point location, and the completion of an anger management course. Nothing further from the state, Your Honor.
I represent, sorry, Your Honor, I didn't mean to.
No, who do you represent, Ms. Watson?
Solo.
Okay, all right. And so let me just, who do they both, or who lives at the Center Avenue address?
It's just Mr. Lowe.
Just Mr. Lowe, okay. Go ahead, Ms. Kim.
Yes, Your Honor. My client, Ms. Purdue, we have no objection as long as we get one-time law enforcement escorted visit to retrieve her personal belongings. She has another place that she can go to, and that's it, Your Honor. They do not have a child together.
Okay, it will be a $1,000 signature bond through pretrial level 1. No further contact with Mr. Lowe. Stay away from the Center Avenue address. You can go back to that address on one occasion with law enforcement to retrieve any belongings that she might have there. No drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Ms. Purdue.
Thank you.
This is Mr. Lowe.
Yes, sir.
Yes, good afternoon, Mr. Lowe. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state court expedited accusation calendar that we are conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Mr. Lowe, you've been charged in case 24 CR 000621 with maintaining a disorderly house. Is there a history?
This defendant has 23 arrest cycles in Georgia, a felony conviction in 1987 for burglary, misdemeanor conviction in 1998 for a CWAC charge, 2005 fleeing and attempting to elude. The last arrest was January 31st of this year out of East Point. It's this case that's on the calendar. Nothing further to report.
Okay.
The only thing to add to for the facts in this case is that essentially the indicia for this charge is that he kept inviting her, the cross defendant, back to the home The landlord had to threaten to evict him several times due to the neighbors complaining about Miss Purdue and other guests that he invited at the residence that were causing a disturbance. Given the nature of the charge, Your Honor, the state will be requesting a signature bond through the jail, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons, no further contact with the cross defendant.
Any objection to any of that, Ms. Watson Cafe?
No, Your Honor.
All right, it'll be $1,000 signature bond through the jail, no further contact with Ms. Purdue, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Mr. Lowe.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Next is gonna be Jordan Stovall.
Ms. Stovall is position number 20. Good afternoon, Ms. Stovall. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state court expedited accusation calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Ms. Stovall, you've been charged in case 24 CR 000629 with simple battery family violence. Is there a history, Ms. Hardy?
This defendant does not have any history to report.
Yes, Your Honor, in this case, law enforcement was dispatched at 484 King Arnold Street in Hateville, Georgia. They met with the victim, Ms. Janice Coleman. She advised that she is the grandmother of the defendant. They got into a verbal disagreement, at which time became physical. At the time, the defendant pushed the victim. The state is asking for a signature bond through pretrial services. No further contact with Ms. Coleman. Stay away from the incident location. Anger awareness, no weapons, drugs, or alcohol while out on bond.
Miss Janice or Janice Coleman is on the line and wishes to address the court. Now is your opportunity to do so. Okay, Miss Kim.
Yes.
Oh, is this Miss Coleman? Raising her hand?
Yes,
Okay, Miss Coleman, can you hear me, ma'am?
yes,
Do you swear from the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Okay, what would you like to tell me, Miss Coleman?
If I'm not mistaken, I think they said that she can't have any contact with me. I'm raising her daughter, and from time to time she have to come over here. We just don't want no more violence.
Okay, has this happened before?
No,
Okay, and you're not afraid of her?
no,
Okay, anything else, Miss Coleman?
no, that's all. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Yes, Miss Kim.
Yes, my client is 20 years old, Your Honor. As grandmother said, she has a 4-year-old daughter that she has to raise. We would like to request for no further violent contact. We prefer signature on bond through jail. And yet, if Your Honor is not inclined to give her a signature on bond through jail, we are totally fine with a signature on bond through pretrial level 1 as well. This is her first offense ever. Thank you.
Okay, it'll be a $2,000 signature bond through pretrial level 1, 1-day anger awareness, no further violent contact with Miss Coleman, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Miss Stovall.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Next is Miss Kayla Wheeler. Miss Kayla Wheeler.
Your Honor, can I interrupt for you to the next?
Yes, Miss Watson Cafe.
Usually I give my clients my info over the phone, but I haven't had an opportunity because of everything that's going on. They don't have my contact information. So I don't know if there's I want to call them CEO, but I can't think of the proper term. Can just write down my phone number for the 3 defendants that I had today.
Did you hear that request, Norris?
I heard it. I got you, Miss Cafe.
Okay, thank you so much. And may I be excused, Your Honor?
Yes, have a good afternoon. Thank you for being here. And let's see, this is Miss Wheeler. Now, tell me again who I have before me.
Kayla Wheeler.
Okay, on the calendar, I have a Kayla Wheeler.
Yes.
That's it.
Okay, all right. Good afternoon, Ms. Wheeler. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we are conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video? Is that a yes?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. You've been charged And position 22, case number 24 CR 0000631 with battery. Is there a history, Ms. Hardy?
This defendant has 8 arrest cycles in Georgia, a misdemeanor conviction in 2018 for disorderly conduct. The last arrest was July 18th, 2023 out of Dunwoody for an FTA. There appears to be a hold out of Dunwoody for a probation violation. The date of that warrant is January 16th, 2023. Nothing further to report.
So yes, Your Honor, in this case, law enforcement was dispatched to the North Avenue MARTA station located at 641 West Peachtree Street, where they met with the victim. I will spell his first name Wonsang. Last name is Yoo. They actually reviewed this footage on the CCTV as the victim was exiting the train car. The defendant came on, and for whatever reason, the defendant attacked the victim unprovoked. The state is asking for a $1,500 surety bond. Visible injuries were observed on the victim. We are asking for a no further contact with the victim, a stay away from all MARTA, no weapons, drugs, or alcohol while out on bond.
Mr. Yo is on the line and wishes to address the court. Now is your opportunity to do so. Ms. Kim?
Yes, Your Honor. Ms. Wheeler is 26 years old and she is a full-time student at college. It is Generation University, and she is studying entrepreneurship right there. She got the grant to study. She studied last year, and this is her first year, and she really wants to pursue her career. Your Honor, she does not have a job as of now, so she's qualified for public defender services. She wants to work part-time, get some money, and then be able to go home someday. She has 3 years old minor child, and her family members are all in New York, so she does not have any support here to pay for the bond. So we would like to request for a signature on bond through pretrial level 3. And as long as she gets, she does not have to pay for the bond, she is willing to comply. We have no objection to stay away and no further contact with complaining witness.
Okay, so she currently lives here in Georgia.
Yes, and
Ms. Kim?
she's residentially challenged, so she wants to raise up money to pay for the train to go to, bus ticket to go to New York, where her parents are.
Okay, so
But she has to
It
work.
sounds like she has no ties to the community, and she's trying to leave town. Is what I heard.
Ms. Kim, is she living here now?
Yeah, she's been here for about 10 years, Your Honor. She does have a address here. She has a mailing address. She has a phone number. She wants to get a job so that way she can get enough money to have her life together.
Okay, given her history and having that hold for probation violation and what you've just told me, Ms. Kim, it's going to be $1,000 good bond, no further contact with Mr. Yu, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Ms. Wheeler.
Next on, I'm gonna go to Mr. Allen. We on, Allen?
Okay. Good afternoon, Mr. Allen. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video? Thank you. Mr. Allen, you've been charged in case 24 CR 0000611 with simple battery, family violence, and stalking. Is there a history?
This defendant does not have any history to report at this time.
Okay. Mr.
In
Walker?
this case, law enforcement was dispatched at 3640 South Woodland Avenue in Hateville, Georgia, where they met with the victim, Y. Benjamin. He reported that, the victim reported that They were in a physical altercation with Mr. Cleon. They've asked for the defendant to stop contacting them, and he's repeatedly made contact again. In this altercation, where it's the basis for the simple battery, it's alleged that the defendant pulled the victim's hair and pushed the victim to the ground. The state is asking for a $1,500 surety on each count, a stay away from the incident location, no contact with the victim, no weapons, drugs, or alcohol. We would sound for the victim, Y. Benjamin.
The last name is Benjamin.
Yes.
If Y. Benjamin is on the line and wishes to address the court, now is your opportunity to do so. Okay, doesn't appear. Mr. Cook.
Your Honor, we have no problem with the conditions of stay away and no further contact. However, my client does dispute the allegations as they appear in the warrant, and we would be seeking a signature only bond at what level the court deems appropriate.
Okay, for each count, it'll be a $2,000 signature bond through pretrial level 3. Makes for a total of a $4,000 signature bond through pretrial level 3. 1-day anger awareness, no further contact with Y. Benjamin, stay away from the South Fulton Avenue address, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Mr. Allen, let me be very clear with you what no contact means. No contact means absolutely no contact. No personal contact, no phone contact, no internet contact, no social media contact, no contact through a third person, absolutely no contact. If you are found in violation of this order, this bond will be revoked and you'll be back where you are, okay? All right, good luck to you, sir.
Next, Your Honor, we're gonna go to Mr. Willie Bowen. Willie Bowen.
It's position number 2. Good afternoon, Mr. Bowen. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state court expedited accusation calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Good afternoon, sir. Yes, sir.
Thank you. Mr. Bowen, you've been charged in case 24 CR 000612 with theft by receiving stolen property and acquiring a license plate for the purpose of concealing identification of a motor vehicle. Is there a history, Ms. Hardy?
This defendant has a total of 13 arrest cycles with arrests out of Georgia, Virginia, and Ohio. A misdemeanor conviction in 2016 for theft by taking. Felony conviction in 1990 for burglary, 2018 for forgery. The last arrest was December 20th, 2022 out of Lawrence for a probation violation. Nothing further to report.
1 second, Your Honor. So this defendant was pulled over because the plates to the car that he was driving did not match each other. Essentially, he had stole the plates off of another car. When he was pulled over by the officer, he admitted to taking the plates and said that he was unable to pay the ad valorem tax. That's odd because he was driving a Porsche. But nonetheless, the state is asking for a $500 surety bond on each count. No weapons, drugs, or alcohol while out on bond.
Mr. Cook?
Again, Your Honor, we have no problem with the conditions of the bond. We would ask that it be a signature only bond at whatever levels court deems appropriate.
So Mr. Walker, just so I'm clear, so that vehicle was a stolen vehicle?
So he was in his car, but he stole the license plates off of another vehicle and put it on his car because he said he could not afford the ad valorem tax.
Oh, okay.
So his vehicle wasn't stolen, but the plates that he put on his vehicle were stolen.
Your Honor, my client would deny the accusations as they appear in the warrant. And once again, we would be seeking the signature only bond.
That's what it says, that he told the officer in the warrant that he couldn't afford to pay the taxes. So he took someone else's plates.
All right, it'll be $1,000 signature bond through the jail on each count, makes it a $2,000 signature bond through the jail. No drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Mr. Bowen.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Yes, Coach.
Next one is gonna be Mr. Dayton Castillo, Kalanga.
Castillo.
Castillo. I tried.
Me too. This position.
Position number, thank you. Position number 3. Yes, good afternoon. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. You've been charged in case 24 CR 000613 with possession of a pistol or revolver by a person under 18 years of age and discharging a firearm while under the influence of alcohol or drugs. Is there a history?
This defendant does not have any history to report.
Mr. Walker?
So in this case, law enforcement was dispatched to 1456 Raintree Crossing in Roswell due to shots being fired. When they arrived at the location, it seemed that apparently they were at a playground. When they arrived, they seen several kids running in chaos. They saw the defendant running. Apparently, this was captured on footage. He did get flight. However, apparently he passed out to being intoxicated, and a firearm was found. To the possession of a firearm under the age of 18, we are asking for a $10,000 surety. To the count of discharge of a firearm, we are asking for another $10,000 surety. And to the obstruction, we're asking for a $1,000 surety. No weapons, drugs, or alcohol while on bond. And we're also asking for a curfew since the defendant is under the age of 18. We'll ask for a 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. curfew.
Okay, I only have 2 charges on my calendar, Mr. Walker, but you're telling me that there are 3?
Let me.
I don't have the obstruction charge on the calendar.
Okay, let me double check to make sure that wasn't left off. 1 second, Your Honor.
Ms. Bridgewater, do you have that charge?
I only have 2 charges, Your Honor, possession of a pistol and also discharging firearm while under the influence.
Okay, I'll let the defense attorney go, and I can just make sure that we didn't accusation wasn't left off, so he's not stuck in jail.
Okay. Yes, Mr. Cook.
Your Honor, my client is 17, and he denies the accusations as stated in the warrant. We don't have any problems with the curfew, and the other conditions. We would be seeking a signature only bond at 17. He has no resources. His mother, Stephanie, I believe, is with us at this moment, and to speak about perhaps co-signing.
Okay.
Your Honor, I did check. There is a 3rd warrant for obstruction. I can make sure that accusation is refiled with the clerk's office, but he was booked in on a 3rd charge of obstruction.
Okay, so we need to get that so we can get the paperwork together for it. Now we'll give him a bond on that this afternoon.
I'll go ahead and add it to my calendar while we're in the process of doing other stuff. So if you want to go ahead and do the bond for that.
Okay. Yes, Miss Stephanie, if you'll raise your right hand for me.
Oh,
Do you swear affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
yes, sir.
Okay, you can place your hand down. What would you like to tell me about Dayton?
Dan's he's a really good kid. He just made a really dumb decision. I talk to him every time before he goes out with his friends. I'm not sure why he made this. I wasn't expecting to get a call from the cops at 1 a.m. letting me know he's arrested, but if the curfew works, I know he'll stick by it.
Okay, is he in school?
Not right now.
Is he working?
He was working with my dad part-time, but the job just went down, so he hasn't been working for like 2 months.
Okay. How far did he get in school?
He went to 10th grade.
All right.
This year was supposed to be junior year.
And Your Honor, the stage is very concerned because this is about a shooting on a playground. Um, and it's alleged that the defendant was inebriated, which is a separate concern, but the state has a great concern about the safety of the citizens of Fulton County.
I understand, Mr. Walker. I'm just trying to get some background on this young man so that I can properly deal with him. So,
Great at
Miss,
school until he stopped going, but he was doing good in school too.
okay. Well, I want him to get back into school or get a GED or something. He needs he needs to be doing something. What's he do all day?
Well, he's just been helping me around the house lately, but I've been trying to get him to let's go find a job, just haven't found one yet.
Okay. All right. Thank you, ma'am. Let's see, Mr. Cook.
If I could ask, Stephanie, again, you would have no problem signing, if he were to get a signature only bond, given that he's a minor, you could come.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't have any problem with that.
And what's your full name? Is Stephanie, Stephanie? Is that right?
Yes.
And the last name?
Castillo, Castillo.
Okay. And let's see, you'll have to bring identification when you pick him up. So it will be for the possession of $5,000 signature bond through pretrial level 2, for the discharge of a firearm, a $5,000 signature bond through pretrial level 2, for the third count of obstruction, a $2,000 signature bond through pretrial level 2, makes for a total of a $12,000 signature bond through pretrial level 2. He is to have a curfew of 6 a.m. He can be out between 6 a.m. He's to be home by 6 p.m. If he does get a job, I will certainly entertain modifying that to account for the time that he will be working, but you'll have to seek a modification if he gets a job. I want him to get to enroll in getting a GED and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. So if there are any weapons in the house, he can't be around them, and he should not be having any drugs or alcohol as it is. But if there is a problem with that, just know that this, Mr. Dayton, that this bond will be revoked. And I made it a bond such that if you violate it, it's going to be very, very taxing for you to make that bond. So just know that you are being given the opportunity here, but you have to follow all of the conditions that I'm setting on that bond. And if you don't, it's going to be revoked. You understand me?
Sure.
All right.
And before we go to the next person, I did check the email to the clerk's office, and the third charge of obstruction was filed. So I'm not sure what happened, but the accusation was sent to the clerk's office.
Okay, very good. So we'll make sure that we get the right paperwork over to the jail.
And before we go any further, Judge, what were the hours of that curfew?
6 to 6.
6 to 6.
Yes.
Thank you.
All right. Good luck to you all.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Next, Your Honor, is going to be Kadarius Elliott. Kadarius Elliott.
That's position number 5. Good afternoon, Mr. Elliott. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes.
Thank you. Mr. Elliott, you've been charged in case 24 CR 000615 with reckless conduct. Is there a history?
This defendant does not have any history to report.
In this case, Your Honor, law enforcement was dispatched to 2531 Lenox Road, where they met with the victim, Ms. Anjanae Davis. She advised that her and the defendant, who's her boyfriend, they were riding in the car. They got into a verbal disagreement. Things became heated, so she pulled the car over and demanded that he got out of the vehicle. At that time, he pulled out his firearm and shot into the air 8 times. The state is asking for a $15,000 surety bond, no contact with the victim, to surrender any and all weapons that are in his possession, no weapon, drugs, or alcohol while out on bond.
Yes, Mr. Cook.
Yes, to start off, I believe, his name is Rodarius. The first letter of the name is R, not K. I think that was wrong on the paperwork, but it's Rodarius. Elliot.
Yes.
Okay.
Again, there's no history. We understand the seriousness of the allegation. But he's 27. He's lived his whole life in Atlanta. He is not currently working, and we would be seeking a bond that he could afford, which would be a signature only bond at level 4 if necessary.
All right. It will be a $5,000 good bond, no further contact with Ms. Davis, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. If he has any weapons, they have to be surrendered. Good luck to you, Mr. Elliott.
Thank you. Next, Your Honor, is going to be Mr. John Grooms. John Grooms.
Okay, I don't seem to Grooms, Grooms.
That was an NOD, Your Honor.
That was I didn't get the email, so. I didn't get an email, but now I know. Thank you. Charge has been dismissed. We'll go back there. Congratulations. Thanks. Yeah. Next, we have Ramiro Hernandez.
Mr. Hernandez is position number 6. Good afternoon, Mr. Hernandez. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, good afternoon. Yes, I do.
Thank you, Mr. Hernandez. You've been charged in case 24 CR 000616 with criminal trespass and damage to property. Is there a history, Ms. Hardy?
This defendant has 6 arrest cycles in Georgia. No felony convictions. Their last arrest was August the 16th, 2021 out of Alpharetta for simple battery, family violence. Nothing further to report.
Your Honor, brief facts of the case is that an officer arrived at the location of 470, it looks like Tumbling Creek Drive, Alpharetta, due to a domestic dispute. The parties are mother and son, and the mother advised the officers that the defendant had been in a manic episode for 72 hours and destroyed the basement ceiling tile. They also advised that the officer, while during this, the rest of the children were hidden in the bedroom behind a locked door. And she also could hear loud banging outside of the door. And when the officers came inside, or when they went inside, they noticed damage to the second floor hallway walls that appeared to be from a punch from a closed fist by the defendant. Your Honor, the recommendation from the state is a signature bond through the pretrial services, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons. Stay away from the incident location, a no further contact with the victim in this case. The victim is going to be Arcelia, Arcelia, Bonilla, Bonilla, and the completion of an anger awareness course. And if we could sound from Ms. Bonilla in accordance with Marcy's law, that'd be greatly appreciated.
If Ms. Bonilla is with us and wishes to address the court, now is your opportunity to do so. Has your office had the opportunity to speak with her?
It does not appear so, Your Honor.
Mr. Ty?
Yes, Your Honor. My client is 29 years old. He's lived in Georgia all his life. He did graduate from Alpharetta High School and earned a degree from Georgia State University. As the warrant reflects, he does suffer with MH issues. I wasn't able to speak with the complaining witness, but I was his father, the complaining witness's husband states that she's working, but I was able to speak with my client's father and his sister. In light of those conversations, I wouldn't object to the stay away. I think that his sister stated he can find another relative to live with. I have no objection to the signature bond through pretrial services. I would object to no further contact. I mean, this is his mother, and his sister did indicate to me that they do want to have contact with him. And I would also object to the anger awareness. I don't think that that's what my client needs.
After my father pushed me in the face. They came.
Do you need to talk with him more, Mr. Ty?
No, Your Honor, I mean, I already stated that he does deny the allegations in the warrant. He states that somebody in the home assaulted.
Excuse me, I'm sorry, Mr. Ty. Ms. Bridgewater, you're off mute. Thank you. Good. I'm sorry, Mr. Ty. Say that again.
He does state that he wasn't the primary aggressor, and there were things happening in the household which gave rise to the incidents that are alleged in the warrant, but
Okay.
nothing further.
So it'll be a $2,000 signature bond through pretrial level 1. No further violent contact with Ms. Bonelia. He is to stay away from the Tumbling Creek Drive address. That will have to find another place to reside. He can go back to that address on one occasion with law enforcement to retrieve any belongings that he might have there, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Good luck to you, Mr. Hernandez.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Go to the blue chair. Your Honor, next we have Charmaine Hill. I don't know if he was accepted by Pat. I don't know if he's on the calendar or not. I don't have the calendar in front of me.
I don't think he's on the calendar.
Good.
Yeah, I think Phil was accepted.
Thank you. Good. Next, we'll go to Mr. Johnson, Materius Johnson.
Terrius Johnson is position number 8 on the calendar. Good afternoon, Mr. Johnson. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Mr. Johnson, you've been charged in case 24 CR 000618 with simple battery family violence. Is there a history, Ms. Hardy?
This defendant doesn't have any history to report at this time.
Okay.
Your Honor, the brief facts of the case is that an officer responded to a call concerning a dispute between a mother and her 17-year-old son at the location of 1185 Collier Road, Atlanta, Georgia, and Fulton County, Georgia. The parties got into it about him checking in after the defendant came in the house late. The victim advised that the defendant pushed her, being his mother. She stumbled backwards into the wall. Neither party was observed to have injuries at that time. There was, I believe, might have been his sister, because the warrant says Miss Walker was present and stated that she only saw her brother pushing their mother, and she advised the officer that this is the third time that the defendant has placed his hands on the mother. And she does not know, and the mother does not know what to do. Our office has been able to get in contact with the victim, the actual mother, who advised that they do live together. She confirmed the events in the warrant. She stated that it has never happened before. She states that she is not in fear of her son and that she wants continued contact. And she states that she wants the defendant to return to the home. If we could sign for Ms. Walker in accordance with Marcy's law, that'd be greatly appreciated. Given the limited history, Your Honor, the nature of the case, the age of the defendant, the recommendation from the state is a signature bond through the pretrial services, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons, no further violent contact, the completion of an anger awareness course, as well as the imposition of a curfew in this matter, Your Honor. Nothing further to add from the state.
What is the mother's name?
The mother's name is, I'm sorry, Laquanda, Laqwanda Walker is the last name.
Now I see a Laquanda Cortland on the screen here. Miss LaQuanda, if you want, if you're wish to address the court, now is your opportunity to do so.
Hi, Your Honor. I really don't have anything to say. I would like
Okay,
to.
hold on one second. Can you activate your camera for me?
I'm sorry.
Okay, now, it's the last name Cortland?
It's Walker.
Walker, okay, so Miss Walker, you are, Materius's mom?
Yes.
Okay, and so, do you want him back in the household?
Yes, sir.
Are you afraid of him?
No.
Okay, will you be able to, sign him out?
Yes, sir, I would.
Okay, and, anything else that you'd like to tell the court? Is he in school?
Yes, he's in school and he's currently working at Publix.
What grade is he in?
12th.
Okay. All right, thank you, Ms. Walker, for being here.
You're welcome.
Mr. Ty.
Yes, Your Honor. My client is 17 years old. He is a senior at North Atlanta High School. He is going to be graduating this May. He told me and his mom confirmed that he is a straight A and B student. He also participates in the marching band and he works at Publix as a bagger. Due to the limited, he has no criminal history, and I would ask for a signature bond. I think it has to be through pretrial services because he needs a cosigner. Of course, no violent contact. The curfew, he still qualifies for public defender services, but for a full-time student who's making A's and B's, it seems like he works quite a bit. So I guess the curfew would have to work with his schedule at Publix too, and his school schedule.
What time do you normally do? What time does he normally get off of work in the evening?
At 10.
By 10? Okay. And what time do you leave for school in the morning?
7:30.
All right, so it will be a $2,000 signature bond through pretrial, level 1. 1-day anger awareness, no further violent contact with Ms. Walker. He is to have a curfew from 11 p.m. to 6 a.m. and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Okay, good luck to you, Mr. Johnson.
Thank you.
Next, Your Honor, is going to be Mr. Willie Rainey. Mr. Willie Rainey. And also, can I ask if Terrence Reese was accepted to Pat? Is he on the calendar?
He was not accepted, Deputy Norris.
Okay.
Good afternoon, Mr. Rainey. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video? Thank you. You've been charged in case 24 CR 000627 with simple battery family violence. Is there a history? Sorry.
This defendant has 11 arrest cycles in Georgia, misdemeanor conviction in 2003 for possession of marijuana less than an ounce. Their last arrest was October 13th, 2020 out of Smyrna for an FTA. Nothing further to report.
Yes, Your Honor. In this case, law enforcement was dispatched at 1369 Holcomb Avenue in East Point for the met with the victim, Ms. Courtney Campbell. She advised that the defendant and her were engaged in a verbal disagreement that turned physical, at which time he did grab and push her to the floor, causing bruising and scratches to her stomach area. The state is asking for a $2,000 surety bond, no contact with the victim, and stay away from the incident location, no weapons, drugs, or alcohol while out on bond.
Ms. Campbell is on the line and wishes to address the court. Now is your opportunity to do so. Yes, Ms. Kim.
Yes, Your Honor. My client, Mr. Rainey, is 39 years old. He was born and raised here in Georgia. He's gainfully employed as a cook at a local hotel, and he graduated from high school. They do not reside together, and if he has to stay away from that location, he has no objection, Your Honor. He does not want to have any contact with her. We would like to request for signature on bond through pretrial level 1. He is indeed, his violence charge was very remote, and we would like to request for that signature on bond. Thank you.
Okay. It'll be a $3,000 signature bond through pretrial level 1, 1-day anger awareness, no further contact with Ms. Campbell, stay away from the 1369 Holcomb address, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Mr. Rainey.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Your Honor.
I'm sorry, what was that bond amount again?
$3,000 signature bond through pretrial.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Next is going to be Mr. Terrence Reese.
Good afternoon, Mr. Reese. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we are conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes.
Thank you. Mr. Reese, you've been charged in case 24 CR 0000628 with criminal trespass. There a history, Ms. Hardy?
This defendant has 31 arrest cycles in Georgia. Felony conviction in 2006 for purchase, possession, manufacture, distribution, sale of marijuana. 2007, possession of cocaine. 2008, theft by deception. 2017, possession of cocaine with intent. The last arrest was August 29th, 2023, out of MARTA for criminal trespass. Nothing further to report.
In this case, Your Honor, law enforcement was dispatched to 221 Dodd Avenue in Atlanta. They met with the victim, Mr. Brandon Parrish. Mr. Parrish is the homeowner at this location. Called law enforcement simply because the defendant broke into a side window and locked himself into a bedroom and refused to leave or exit the property. Law enforcement came and he was arrested on site. According to the warrant, I wasn't able to see if there was an open case in the Odyssey for the obvious reasons, but according to the warrant, this defendant pulled something similar back in November 17th of last year, where he was issued a criminal trespass warning for the same exact thing. So the state is asking for $1,000 cash bond, stay away from the instant location, no contact with the victim, no weapons or alcohol while out bond.
Mr. Parrish is on the line and wishes to address the court. Now is your opportunity to do so. Ms. Kim?
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Reese is 38 years old, Your Honor, and he was born and raised here in Georgia. He is actually struggling financially lately because he was working as a contractor at pay status, and his hours have cut it almost half. So his income is significantly reduced. And not only that, Your Honor, he's residentially challenged. So he has been struggling to have a place to stay. He does support one baby, and they are trying to get some kind of project at Atlanta to stay, to have a housing lined up. We would like to request for signature on bond through pretrial, even though it may be level 3, we are willing to take it. Your Honor, cash bond is way too harsh for criminal trespass. He denies the allegation about the breaking the window. He was just trying to rest, stay away from the cold weather and rain.
Okay, so Ms. Kim, I'd like for him to have a social worker visit to assist with housing. So it'll be a 2,000. Just let me know when you're ready, Ms. Kim.
Yes, we're ready.
Okay, a $2,000 signature bond through the jail. No further contact with Mr. Parrish. Stay away from the Dodd Street address. No drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond, and a social worker visit to assist with housing. Mr. Reese, I'm going to give you the opportunity to get out and hopefully we can help you with some housing. But if you don't appear for your next court hearing, they're going to put a warrant out for you. You understand?
Yes, sir.
All right. So good luck to you, Mr. Reese.
All right, thank you. Your Honor, I believe that's all I have, unless there's someone that we're missing.
Yeah, I have a position 7, Layden Johnston.
Bond paid. Bond
Okay. Position 12 is a Jolie McDowell.
That's going to be a medical reset.
Okay, so we'll reset that for tomorrow for 2/6. And
I had a T-Pulse. It was a DUI.
right, position 21, Cooper Peoples.
They're released.
Oh, okay, so that was okay. All right, does that cover everybody?
That's
Appears to. Okay, very good. Thank you. We appreciate it.
always.
Okay, I'll see you in the morning.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thanks.
All right, take care.
All right, Ms. Bridgewater.
Okay. Once again, the reset date for the SAP calendar is February the 19th. Position number 1 is reset further notice with a total $4,000 SOB through pretrial. 2 is reset further notice with a total $2,000 SOB through the jail. 3 is reset further notice with a total $12,000 SOB through pretrial. 4, reset further notice with a $2,000 SOB through pretrial. Position 5 is going to the SAP calendar with a $5,000 good bond. 6, reset further notice with a $2,000 SOB through pretrial. Position 7 is reset further notice as the defendant has been released. 8 is reset further, wait a minute. Reset further notice with a $2,000 SOB through pretrial. 9 is reset further notice with a total $4,000. We went ahead and added that other case. So it's a total of a $4,000 split bond. The first 3 charges are SOB through pretrial, and that willful obstruction is going to be a $1,000 SOB through the jail. Position 10 is reset further notice with a $5,000 SOB through pretrial. 11, reset further notice with a $1,000 SOB through the jail. 12 is medically reset till tomorrow. 11 is reset further notice with a $3,000 SOB through pretrial. 14 is reset further notice with a $3,000 SOB through pretrial. 15 is reset further notice with a $2,000 SOB through pretrial. 16, I'll come right back to that one. I have paperwork all over my desk. I'll come back to that one. 17, am I on 17? It's been such a day.
Yes.
Okay, 17 is reset further notice with a $1,000 SOB through pretrial. 18, reset further notice with a $3,000 SOB through pretrial. 19, reset further notice with a $2,000 SOB through the jail. 20 is reset further notice with the $2,000 SOB through pretrial. 21, what did we say about 21?
Release further notice.
Reset further notice?
Yes.
Okay, I have to look through my paperwork on that. And 22 is going to the SAP calendar with the $1,000 good bond.
And Ms. Bridgewater, position 16 was a 2,000 pretrial reset further notice.
I'm sorry, will you repeat that, please?
Yes.
16.
2,000 pretrial, position 16.
Thank you so much. And I assume that's level 1?
Yes.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, with that being said, are there any questions, comments, or otherwise?
Your Honor, my client, Mr. Rainey, needs one-time law enforcement officer escorted visit to his Place, 1369 Slocum Avenue. Would you please approve that?
A one-time escort on position number 18. That's Willie Rainey.
Yes.
Okay, got it.
Okay,
Okay.
all right,
Appreciate it. Thanks.
all right.
Judge, if you would,
Yes.
just give me a few minutes to get this together.
Take your time. I'm here, so just let me know when you're ready and I'll get them signed and back to you.
Thank you, Judge.
All right.
Okay.
Okay, thank you all. I'll see you tomorrow afternoon. You'll have a good rest of your evening.
You too. Bye-bye, everyone.
Thank you.